There's two common problems with ZW transformers. One of them affects how your trains run and how long the transformer lasts, but the other one is a very dangerous problem. Let's take a look at that dangerous problem first. The potential danger is the condition of the line cord. Now let's take a look at this line cord. If you can bend the line cord like this without breaking the insulation, it's all right. But as you can see, when this one bends, the insulation breaks open, exposing the wire and a potential fire hazard. Ironically, a lot of collectors will pay more and put more of a premium on the transformer because it has a Lionel cord on it, as this one does. However, that means that that cord probably is a potential hazard and needs to be replaced. Let's start this project by taking the cover off the top of the transformer. Using a Phillips head screwdriver, just take the 4 screws out of the top, like this. Now with the cover off, we're going to see what the other problem is. And that problem is these rollers. If you notice, what we have inside the transformer is the primary coil down here, the 110 volt coil, and this is the secondary coil. This is the coil that delivers 0 to 20 volts to your track. The way it does that is you move this handle, and when you do, this roller rolls across individual coil windings and increases or decreases the voltage. These rollers wear out. When they wear out, the holder that holds that roller will sometimes get down all the way to the point that instead of the roller rolling across these wires, the holder itself is scratching across the coil wire to the point that it will eventually cut it open. The materials we need for this repairs are 2 things. One is a line cord, a 16 gauge 110 volt cord that you can pick up from a hardware store. We also need a set of rollers and pins, and these rollers are standard replacement rollers for a ZW transformer that you can pick up from a parts dealer in a train meet or maybe from parts dealers who advertise in train magazines. We also need to make 2 homemade clips, which can be made out of heavy gauge paper clips or a coat hanger wire. In order to replace the line cord, we're going to have to remove these 2 brackets and then we need to pull this holder back and this one back so that we can lift the coil out. But we can't do that until we first secure these rollers in such a manner that raising the coil doesn't damage them. That's where we're going to use our homemade clip. And we're going to wrap it around both arms like this and turn it and then pull them back and secure those arms against the light post so that they aren't touching the coil anymore. Now in order to lift the coil out, we have to loosen the base plate so we can get these 2 holders away from the coil. Turn the transformer up. On the bottom of the transformer there are 4 sheet metal bolts. Using your 5/16 nut driver, loosen all 4 of these screws. Now we'll check and we'll notice that this frame is loose, and so is this one. Let's turn the transformer, and we're going to move that frame away, move this one away, and pull the coil up. Now it's not going to come up very high. The purpose of this is to show you that this is the power cord right here. The line cord solders on here and it goes down to and through the hole and out the bottom of the transformer. We're going to get our wire cutters and cut the old line cord out like this, and we'll cut the old plug off and we'll pull the line cord out of the transformer. There. That gets the old cord out. And we cut the plug off of the old cord to make sure that nobody will inadvertently ever use this again. The last thing that we need to do is we need to unsolder the remnants of the old cord from the coil on the transformer. Let's get this support bracket out of the way so that we can get to the wires. If we take something like this roll of tape to brace it up, we can easily see the old power cord and the 2 points that we need to take the solder off to get it out of there. Use the higher heat setting on your iron, and it still may take a while because there's a lot of metal that you're unsoldering here, and it takes a long time to heat it up. Well, there's the first one. There we are. Now let's take our new cord, get it unwound, and we're going to put the new cord on the transformer by first turning the transformer up on its face. And we'll feed the wire through the hole in the base of the transformer. And for the moment, let the transformer sit there, and we're going to tie a knot in the cord and make that knot about 1 foot away from the end of the cord. Now that we've got our knot in, pull the knot back down until it bottoms out on the transformer case. Now let's set the transformer right side up and feed the cord around so that we can attach it to the transformer's coil. There. Remove about a ½ inch of insulation and tin the 2 bare copper wires. There. We've completed tinning our 2 wires, and since this is AC current, it makes no difference which of these 2 holes they go in, so let's put one in here and one here, like that. Now we'll solder them. Now that completes our hookup of our new power cord. Now let's reassemble the core of the transformer so that we can get to the other problem, the rollers. When you put the 2 brackets back in, make sure you put them in these 2 holes, not these 2 holes, because the holes here and here are for the transformer case when it goes back on. Try to hold the whole assembly together like this. Carefully roll the transformer up so that we can put the bottom plate on. Like this. As we mentioned before, there are 2 rollers on each side of the core of the transformer. The good roller is probably going to be the one that's on the tab that sets the voltage to 1 point. You see how nicely it rolls back and forth? And if you notice its edges are smooth and nice. Now let's look at this roller. This is the one that goes on the handle that most commonly feeds power to the train. When it rolls back and forth, you can even see that the edges of this roller are pitted and marked and worn. And if you roll it a little further, it even has a flat spot on it, and it's locked in place. This is a life-threatening condition to a ZW transformer, because you can see that it's already marked this coil where it is wearing into the wire. If this remains as it is now, eventually it'll destroy the transformer. We need to replace the roller that's worn out. The roller that's doing a good job needs no replacement at all. It's good for another 20 or 30 years. Let's move the roller out of position that we're not going to work on. Move the handle down so that this roller is back where we can get the most amount of room. What we're going to do is we're going to remove the axle pin by grinding off the peen on the bottom side, pull the pin out and replace the roller. So let's get our Dremel tool in and very carefully grind that off. There, I think that's got the pin ground off. Now we can reach in very carefully and lift out the axle pin and the bad roller. There we go. On the left you can see the roller that we removed from the transformer, and on the right is the new one that we're going to put back in. Now we're ready to install the new axle pin and the new roller. But first we need to do a couple of things. One of the things that we want to do is to take a piece of sandpaper and clean off the top of this roller arm. The reason for that is we're going to put a drop of solder on here later, and we want it to be clean so the solder will adhere to the metal. The other thing we're going to do is go back and get our clip that we used when we were putting in the power cord and secure this roller arm back onto the bulb stanchion. Now we'll pick up the axle pin by the end with the head on it. It's very small, so it'd be hard to see, but there's an end with a head on it, so hold that with the tweezers like this. And you're going to feed it up through the bottom of the roller arm, through the new roller, like that. Then we're going to lift the bracket off, and let all of that rest against the core of the transformer. Normally, this pin should be peened in place, but since none of us have a rivet peen handy, I have found success in just doing it like this, just putting a drop of solder, being sure to heat the pin and the holder on the tip. Like that. There. Now that'll hold our pin in place, and we'll let our roller roll back and forth on the coil, and now our transformer is just as good as the day it was built. That completes the installation of that roller. So let's put our case top back on, and we'll put the 4 screws back in. And with replacing that one bad roller and a new line cord, we've now brought this ZW back to the condition it was when it was brand new. This transformer should be good for another 30 years, unless you use it extensively, and you may have to put rollers in more frequently. Well, that will do it for this session of the Back Shop. I hope that these repair tips and techniques that we've shown you will help you get more enjoyment out of your O-gauge trains.